Well, hello guys, it is that time once again for another edition of Odds and Ends, where I read you some really weird news stories from all over the world, and I mean, they don't call it Odds and Ends for a reason. Now, I apologize for it being a little bit late, but that was because I've been doing a lot of running around for the comic convention, which is today, I should state, and, trying to get this over with pronto, and then, head over and then, go do my thing. And, so anyways, guys, without further ado, let's begin. Our first story comes out of Israel, where the Times of Israel reports that a husband sought a divorce from his wife because he believed her, quote, because of her, get this, 550 cats, 550 cats, were coming between them, literally. The man told a rabbinical court in Beersheba that the cats got in the way of the bathroom door, kept him from cooking in the kitchen, and frequently jumped on the dining room table to steal his food. Quote, he was also unable to sleep in his bedroom because the surface of the material bed was constantly covered with cats who refused to lie on the floor, the paper noted. The court ordered that the couple reconcile, but the woman refused to give up any of her cats and opted to split from her husband instead. Under traditional Jewish law, women cannot instigate a divorce. A husband must serve his wife with religious divorce papers within 45 days of the court hearing concerning the divorce. Okay, how in the hell can you manage to keep 550 cats in one house? I would go flippin' bonkers if somebody ever did that. I mean, I can understand at least 50, but 550, that's too much. And I can see why the husband wants to get away, because she is a crazy cat lady. Anyways, good luck with that divorce. So moving on, our next story comes out of Florida, where a fisherman in the Tarpon Tournament series at Boca Grande Pass reeled in a whopper this year, a fellow contestant's prosthetic arm. Jake Wiseman, a former armed services member with an artificial limb, was one of 8 wounded vets asked to participate in the professional annual tournament. Unfortunately, a particularly large catch made off with Wiseman's arm. Quote, all of a sudden, the hand snapped off the prosthetic device, still hooked to the rod, and the rod and the reel and the hand went down into the water. Wiseman told WINK News Now. Wiseman and the captain of the boat tried to stop the fish's descent, but they were unsuccessful. Quote, we watched it happen, witness Rudy Salas told WPEC 12. Quote, we said, did you see that? His arm's gone. Amazingly, another angler in the tournament later hooked the same fish that made off with Wiseman's arm. Wiseman's line was still attached to the fish, and his prosthetic limb was still attached to the fishing pole. Quote, they brought it back to us, said Wiseman. So that's my fishing story. That's going to be a great story to tell to your drinking buddies. Like, hey, did I ever tell you about the time a fish took off with my prosthetic arm, and then another angler hooked it, and then he gave it back to me? And you know what? He was also lucky that the other guy managed to catch that same fish that hooked off with his arm, because if he didn't, who knows what could have happened to his prosthetic limb, and then who knows what he would have had to do about it. So, he got lucky, but good for him. Moving on, our next story is out of Ohio, where here's an interesting solution to today's tight job market. A Cleveland area woman is accused of breaking into people's houses, cleaning them up, and then leaving behind a bill for services rendered. Sherry Bush of Westlake was a recent victim/client. Cleveland NBC affiliate WKYC reported that Bush came home one day to find her home notably tidier. Quote, there were some coffee mugs that my husband had out, Bush told the station. Quote, she had washed them all. The intruder also vacuumed the carpets, put away toys, and took out the trash. She also left a note on a napkin identifying herself as Susan Warren, including her phone number and asking for $75. Bush called Warren immediately, assuming the mix-up maid had gotten her address crossed. Quote, I said, "What happened? Did you get the wrong house?" She said, "No. I do this all the time." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "I just stop and clean your house." When police contacted her, Warren reportedly told them she regularly enters strangers' houses to clean them. The handy home invader already has charges in the nearby town of Bay Village for criminal trespassing. So far, no charges have been filed against her in Westlake. Okay, how in the hell do you enter people's houses without, breaking anything, or, the door, the window, anything like that, clean houses, and then just walk out the front door and just be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, here's my contact information, and can you give me $75 for cleaning your house?" You could have went to a house cleaning service and said you could do this, but because you decide that they weren't going to hire you, or it was because of this job crisis, you decided to just break and enter people's houses and then clean them. Real smart thinking. Not really. And lastly, our final story is out of Minnesota, where a St. Paul area man was listed in critical condition after an unexploded firework lodged into his chest cavity. According to WTNH-8 News, 31-year-old Nick Behing was shooting fireworks from a handheld mortar tube on the afternoon of Saturday, May 26th, when one of them misfired. Quote, "He lit the tube," said Anoka County Sheriff's Detective Mike Lipham. Quote, "One propelled into the air, the other went directly into his chest." Behing was quickly transported to St. Paul's Regional Hospital. Worried that the explosive potential, surgeons contacted the bomb squad, which waited outside the operating room while the item was removed from Behing's chest. The bomb squad transported the firework, described as a, quote, "live mortar round," to a bunker at their training facility in Rosemount and destroyed it. Police Sergeant Paul Paulios told the television station that the firework was of a professional grade, about the size of an empty paper towel tube, and capable of shooting several hundred feet in the air. Such fireworks are illegal in Minnesota. Yeah, dude, that's real smart thinking, because you got a live mortar round in your cavity chest, and you're lucky you got it out without having it explode on you. Then the bomb squad was called to your surgery to remove it, and you're also going to probably be charged for distribution or shooting off illegal fireworks, because fireworks, that the ones that you were in possession with, are illegal in the state of Minnesota. So that's real smart thinking there, you idiot. But anyways, guys, that was it for this edition of Odds and Ends, and I really hope you guys enjoyed listening to those stories as much as I like reading them to you. And I will see you back again next week for another edition. Until then, I'll see you guys later.